Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to 9 p.m. English News Edition. The Prime Minister presided over the 13th session of the Council of Ministers. International news: Trump is going after Theresa May. That was the headlines, and now welcome to the national news. The 13th session of the Council of Ministers was held this morning under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister and acting head of the government, Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, where several points were raised. So let us listen to the first part of the interim spokesperson.
C'est tenu aujourd'hui, mardi 9 juillet 2000.
Ministry of Economy and Finance charged of Industry. First question bill was to ratify the Convention for the Settlement of Investment Disputes between states and national of other states. With the vision of Djibouti 2035, the government has taken a leading role in the private sector, a component of this strategy on hosting foreign direct investment in the territory. The present project aims satisfying the Washington Convention establishing the International Center for Settlement of the Investment Disputes. This convention to facilitate favorable investment and bring benefits to the country, including the improvement of the investment climate, public case law, access to a network of jurisdiction, and benefits related to a protection of mutual agreements. Second question, bill to ratify the loan agreement for the Project Center of Excellence for Higher Education for the impact on development. The purpose for this bill is to ratify a loan agreement of 15 million USD concluded on April 12, 2019 between the Republic of Djibouti and the Development Association for Finance of the Center of Excellence Project Africa. This project aimed to improve the quality, quantity, and impact on the development of postgraduate and postgraduate courses. Third question, ratifying the financing agreement for the integrated project on cash transfer and strengthening human capital. And fourth question, issue ratifying a funding agreement for the performance improving project. The Minister of Economy and Finance also presided over two bills. The first is the ratification of a loan agreement of 10 million USD and a grant agreement of US 5 million USD between the Republic of Djibouti and the World Bank. Fifth questions, project decree. The purpose of the present draft decree is to define and specify the criteria of determining the independence of a director. The purpose of this order is to clarify the framework applicable to the conflict of interest situation in which all public administrators may be located. Sixth question, issue decree setting the profile of experience competence of members of the board of directors, the public company. Decree establishing the profile of competence and experience of the members, the board of directors, public companies. It constitutes mandatory reference for the appointment of the first board of directors and a reference guide for the council. It fits into broader context of reform for public economic policy instrument and with a view to both efficiency and transparency. 7 questions, Minister of Energy and Natural Resources, decree bearing model specification. Decree fixing the model of the specification that must be signed by the beneficiaries of the mandatory title. Indeed, any claimant of minor title must present a structured solution detailing the objective to be achieved and with a technical, human, and financial means. 8 questions, draft decree fixing the application of the provision relating to the quarterly and annual reports, setting the essential parameters that must be contained in the quarterly and annual reports and activities of holders licenses for recognition, exploration and exploitation of quarry and artisanal mines. The draft order established the general structure of these common report for both types, in particular the annual and quarterly reports. Ministry of Communication, Charge, Post and Telecommunication. 9 draft decree approving the granting of a license for the provision of internet and data service. 10 issue draft decree approving the granting of a license for the establishment, maintenance and operation of data center and IT park. The Minister of Communication presented to the Council two draft decrees. The first door is awarded to AfriFiber SA for the supply of internet data service. Second, allocation of a license to the company Data Park for the establishment, maintenance, and operation of a data center in IT Park. Ministry of Budget. 11 question. Draft decree concerning the affiliation of a parcel of land to the Ministry of Defense. 12 question. Draft decree concerning the allocation of plots and lands located at Balbala, PK 13. Third question. Draft decree allocating the plot of land built PK 32. 14 question. Draft decree allocating plot of land built at Duma. 15th question. Draft decree involving destruction and incorporation of a parcel of land. 70th questions. Draft decree allocating a parcel of land for the benefits of the company SAP building. The Minister of Budget has submitted to the Council several draft decrees. The first draft decree is for the assignment to the Minister of Defense of a plot of land of 10,010,000 meters cube in Balbala, Warabale, intended for the construction of a brigade of National Gendarmerie. The second project aimed to allocate to Mr. Hassan Mohammed Geda plots of land built of an area of 14,550 meters cube to PK 13. The third draft for assigning the benefits to the international. 70th Ministries of Labor charged with the reform of the administration. Draft decree appointing Mr. Mukhtar Mahmoud Waber, Director of Agriculture and Forestry. Mr. Ibrahim Ali Ahmed, Director of Studies and Statistics, Planning and Monitoring of Evaluation of the Ministry of Women and the Family. Mrs. Nima Yunus Hosh, Director of the Social Action Center for the Empowerment of Women. Mr. Mahmoud Suleiman Hared, Acting Director General of the RTD. Communication. The Minister of Justice, Human Rights, Prison Service reported on his participation in the celebration of the 25th anniversary of Rwanda Liberation Day, held on July 4, 2019, Rwanda. The Minister of Health made a mission report on his participation in the Regional Forum on the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, 27-28 June 2019 in Addis Ababa.
At the invitation of His Amalak of the Grand National Assembly of Turkey, the Honorable Mustafa Sentob, President of the National Assembly, His Excellency Mohammed Ali Hamad, is making a 4-day official working visit to the Republic of Turkey on Monday, July 8, 2019. At Ankara Airport, President Mohammed Ali Hamad and his high-ranking delegation were welcomed by Minister Irona, Chairman of the Turkey-Djibouti Friendship Group, Parliamentarian, the Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti, the Honorable Aden Hussein Abdullahi, and his advisor Ali Omar Yusuf. On Tuesday, July 9, 2019, the President and his delegation visited the Anite Kapur Mausoleum, where the first president and founding father of modern Turkey is pouring for all eternity. Then, as is customary, the pen signed the Golden Book and wrote, "Regret the memory of the great men that you are. You are the story of this country and the Muslim world. In unite your world's daughter and sons, who you can be preserve as to have you always dreamed the greatness of your nation." As the museum director pointed out loud and clear, the President of the National Assembly of the Republic of Djibouti is now one of the personalities who have saluted and respected the memory of the Euro. The visit of the continued at the Grand National Assembly of Turkey, where the Djibouti delegation was received by the Honorable Mustafa Sentob, President of the TGNA, face-to-face and in-camera meeting was first held in the Presidency office, followed by the inter-delegation meeting. After the customary presentations and the reading of the speeches of the two presidents, the two delegations discussed a topic of common interest. an ongoing priority for the both nations. The exchange also focused on the parliamentary work, development and cooperation issues in January, but also ways and means of further strengthening cooperation between the two brotherly people. In addition, President Mohammed Ali Hamad officially invited President Mustafa Sentop and Turkish parliamentarian to visit the land of the exchange and encounter before sharing the lunch hosted by President of the TG. In honor, he hosted President Mohammed Ali Hamad during the file covered on 15 July 2016. President Mohammed Ali Hamad also read the Fatiha and led with memory of the victim of this attempt. July 15 is now considered a holiday so that the 12 people can remember this event and martyrs. It was yesterday our Euro who took part in the robotic competition returned to the capital. Welcomed by the Minister of Finance and Economy, Mr. Ilyas Musa Dawale, our young people raised the national flag. Among nations known for innovation, this team of young students took part in the Pan-African Robotic Competition held in Ghana. This young team of two engineering team ranked second and third in that Pan-African Robotic Competition with the participation of 21 African countries and one American team. This year, a team from the Entrepreneurship Center and its leader prepared the young talent with well and accompanied them to Ghana. It will be noted that this tournament, which brought together intermediate, secondary and university robotic team, focus on the scientific and technical challenges relevant to African sustainable development. Mr. Ilyas Musa Dawale, who spoke on behalf of the President of the Republic, congratulated these young people. The minister said that this victory reflected the presence and desire to promote innovation at the heart of the growth and serve business, which is the mission of the Entrepreneurship Center, and the foster youth entrepreneurship, but also to exalt the desire and enthusiasm of a generation that has decided to take charge of it and contribute to social economic development. So here is say the first innovators and builder of a Djibouti of tomorrow. And finally, the minister thanked the ACN Center team for their hard work. The Minister of Labour in charge of administrative reform continued control operation in the northern region, namely Tajora and Owoke. This control, which was combined the AGT, LSD, CNSS and NFIB, has as its main objective the improvement of workers' conditions. This joint control operation, orchestrated by labour market institutions, also consists in raising awareness among employers and social partners to improve compliance with the existing legal provision. During this inspection, inspectors and controllers checked the employers' compliance with the regulation in force. This inspection, which began yesterday at Lagasal, will continue to the most remote area of the Jora region. The fishermen native of the Obohe Prefecture received a donation from generous native Mr. Abdul Kamil now on the name Abdul Baraka, composed of live checked on head against the sun, attend for the safety in the exercise of their work. This donation supports users in their perpetual movement on power fishing ports for fisheries cooperative of Core and Car Dalia of Ecuadoria Obohe benefit from this donation of this grant. The official resettlement ceremony took place at the stopover in the presence of the local authority deputy prophet Mr. Ali Maki of the regional council, Mr. Mohammed Hamad, the head of the gendarmerie and police, as well as the guests. On this occasion, the deputy prophet Mr. Ali Maki thank and congratulate Mr. Abdul Baraka for the donation of the authority to their brother. It is a noble gesture to explain Mr. Maki. This donation will allow them to free at least a little bit of their work. For his part, the president of the Wohe cooperative thanked the donor and Mr. Abdul Baraka on his own behalf and the behalf of all the fishermen. It was in our dream to be inquired one day for our safety, and that's what we want, and that's today our brother made us. I thank him again. The VDS sport team participated in the opening ceremony of the 5th edition of Paris World Game 2019 today 8 in the Parisian capital in the presence of two Vice President of Djibouti Football Federation, Mr. Mohamed Yassin and Mohamed Rufa, in the presence of 76 countries from the four corners of the world. The first competition of the 14 football match, the Djibouti nation team of foreign will compete against the 14 team of the Egyptian team. On this occasion, we had the reaction by the Vice President of the Djibouti Football Federation, Mr. Mohamed Yassin. And now moving on to the international news, Donald Trump has exonerated the UK's ambassador to Washington, saying he will no longer deal with the belligerent diplomat. The US president also turned his fire on Theresa May, accusing her of making a mess of Brexit. His intervention came after leaked diplomatic cable showed Sir Kim Darroch, the UK's top diplomat in Washington, has described Mr. Trump's administration as inept and incompetent. That's it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a good night.